All right. Hello, everybody. It's good to be here. Thank you for joining us. I'm pleased to be joined up here today by Sheriffs Rambosk and Marcino, as well as Julie Brown and Director Zimmer of the Florida Gaming Control Commission. And I want to start at the outset by giving a big thank you to Carl Harold, the Director of Law Enforcement for the Florida Gaming Commission. Here today, we're here to announce another widespread takedown of unlawful gambling operations. Today, the count is still going up, but at the last report, we were able to seize 479 illegal machines, 294,000 in illegal proceeds, and we made over 11 arrests working with our great law enforcement partners. A lot of people wonder, why are we here talking about taking down illegal slot machines, illegal casinos? Why does it matter? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Because in so many of these cases, we connect these illegal operations with illicit money laundering, embezzlement, trafficking, large-scale drug sales, retail theft, you name it. There's almost always a larger criminal network, coordinated effort to scam and steal. This sucks millions and millions from our state economy. It exposes people to danger. These busts are often tied to drugs and firearm use. One of the individuals arrested here is an illegal alien, which shows the law and order challenges there. It puts our communities in danger. People that want to gamble legally, the legislature has authorized a way to do that. We have a great partnership with the Seminole tribe located not far from here, where you're able to go in person and visit an establishment that's heavily regulated, transparent, safe, and very much open to our state law enforcement and regulators. That partnership enables the state to derive billions, almost $1 billion a year in revenue share that we put towards meaningful environmental protection and education needs. So if you want to do it, there's a way to do it. You can use the Hard Rock sports betting application. You can go to one of the tribal facilities. You can listen to a concert, have a good time, and follow the law. We're a rule of law state here in Florida. There's a reason why our crime rates keep plummeting, and it's because we enforce the law. From retail theft to illicit gambling to the scams that are going after our seniors and most vulnerable, we're going to hold lawbreakers accountable. We're going to prosecute to the fullest, and we're going to send a message to you out there. If you think you're going to get away with this and make millions, I would not bet on it, because we're coming for you. We're going to be working up and down the state, and I'm very proud of what the still somewhat new Florida Gaming Commission has been able to accomplish. Just since we really got things going last year, in 2025, we had a seizure of over 6,700 illegal slot machines. Here in 2026, we're already over 3,100, well on our way to another record year, seizing in total over 10,000 illegal slot machines since we've been able to get this law enforcement team up and running. And look, creating a new law enforcement agency is not an easy thing. So Director Harold, congrats to your team and the whole commission, Director Zimmer, for a very, very well done job. I'd also like to announce this morning we sent cease and desist letters to several payment processors, Visa, American Express, and MasterCard. There are online offshore websites right now where people are engaging in illegal gambling. Again, we see strong ties to trafficking, the black market, and more serious criminal activity. So we're calling on them, shut down your payment processing for these illegal sites immediately. There's sites like Bovada, BetNow, BetOnline, BetUS. These are not legal sites, and that's just a few of them. We're going to be using a lot of tools and looking at new ways to shut down all these sites that are going after kids, sucking away well-earned money, hard-earned retirement, enabling evildoers to move money through dark places and, again, attack our communities. If you're a payment processor and you're helping one of those sites, you are breaking the law. Cease and desist immediately, or we will take any law enforcement action necessary to hold you accountable. So with that, I'll turn it over to the experts that actually get the job done, the people that stick their necks out, put their lives on the line. Here in Florida, we're so blessed to have the best sheriffs in the country. We are a rule of law state. We are the safest big state to raise a family because of the work they do. So we'll hear from the hometown sheriff first.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Attorney General. And I also want to thank Julie Brown, Chairman of the Gaming Commission. You know, as you can see behind us, this is one little example of the kind of problem that is throughout the state. The General mentioned it, all the other effects that come out of this. So we certainly want to thank both of them and their teams for assisting, partnering, and supporting us enforcing the law in Collier County and all the bad things that come with these gaming opportunities. You know, if you think about it, there is no consumer protections for illegal gaming businesses or machines. There is no opportunity or recourse if your money disappears after you've gone to some of these establishments. And really, the only way we can deal with it is take them off the street, as it does lead to other types of crimes. And as the Attorney General mentioned, there are so many things that attach to this. And if you look at where his focus has been from a state perspective and our focus as sheriffs locally here, the General has made it a fight to stop human trafficking. He looked at stopping fentanyl coming into not only the country but the state of Florida, investigating, making cases, looking at vaping, which we also have a problem with here. And he had one of the biggest investigations and seizures there. And really the protection of our citizens and consumers in the state of Florida. So without him, we would be in a much different place. Our crime in Collier County is down. Crime across the state is down. And that is in large part to the great work of our Attorney General. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Sheriff Marcino, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thanks for being here today. I think before I say anything, I'd like to just highlight the partnership and why I think our great state is successful. Having a great governor, a great attorney general, great sheriffs, great partners, working together as a cohesive team is tremendous. And that's why Southwest Florida sees the results that it does. And that's why everybody wants to come live in our beautiful state. Today's operation sends a clear message. Illegal gambling operations will not be tolerated in Southwest Florida. This was a coordinated multi-agency effort led by the Florida Gaming Control Commission, and thank you for that, working alongside the Lee County Sheriff's Office, the Collier County Sheriff's Office, and the Florida AG's office. Stats for Lee County, over $107,000 in cash, 226 machines, and 6 arrests. Total operations stats, Lee and Collier, almost $300,000, 479 machines. You're talking about a lot of illegal activity and a lot of potential victims. So, the Attorney General, thank you for stepping up and putting this force together to protect our great residents. I want to personally thank the Florida Gaming Control Commission for spearheading this investigation and for their continued partnership. I know my men and women love working with you guys. You do a phenomenal job. These illegal gambling arcades are not a harmless business, and many times we have people come up and they say, why are you stopping us from gambling? As the Attorney General said, there are things in place at the Hard Rock and ways for you to gamble lawfully where they're not just taking unregulated money from you, and that's very important. These establishments prey on vulnerable individuals, and a lot of times these establishments literally are, they're tunnels for crime. We have robberies at these locations. There's violent crime at these locations. So we follow the rules for a reason. And again, protecting our citizens is number one. Throughout the investigation, agencies work tirelessly to gather intelligence, conduct surveillance, and build these strong criminal cases. And as a result, Investigators executed multiple search warrants and seized illegal gambling devices and recovered huge cash and evidence. Criminals often believe illegal gambling operations fly under the radar, and we all know that criminals don't have boundaries. They don't know where the Lee-Collier divide line is. They don't know exactly where they are, but they know what they're doing. So we have to communicate, and we work tremendously well as a team, and that's why the streets are safer. And as Sheriff Rambaugh said, there's many other things and potential crimes that come with these types of operations, and public safety is the strongest when agencies collaborate as a team. We encourage residents, of course, as we always say, see it, say it, make the call. So if you see something that's not right, you call us. And when I say us, again, one team working hard together with one common purpose. That's going to be the safety of our residents, and those that prey on the vulnerable. And again, the Attorney General's office, General Uthmeier, you've done such an amazing job throughout our state. Florida Gaming, thank you again. I know, again, when I say this, I get regular reports on our team loving working with you. We're the safest we've ever been. The crime rate's down over 10% in Lee County. It's down record numbers in Collier County, yet more people come here every single day to live. So there's incredible amounts of people moving here full-time and not leaving to go back where they come from. Why is that? It's not just palm trees and beaches. You can get that in a lot of places. They come because they live in a law and order, safe, secure environment where they can raise their families and their children go to school where it's safe. Safety is our number one primary concern for the residents of this great state. And again, thank you for all you being here. Our message is clear. There's going to be zero tolerance on criminal activity. We work as one team, and we will be the safest we've ever been, even though more people have moved here than ever. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. My name's Julie Brown. I'm chair of the Florida Gaming Control Commission. I've been with the commission since day one when we had just 3 employees. So to see the trajectory and progress we've made over the years has just been tremendous. I'm so proud to be standing up here with these incredible public servants who have dedicated their lives and believe in the mission and protecting the public from illegal gambling and from preying on just these citizens. And it's just been tremendous to see what we've done. In February, we had a culmination of a big operation. And during that, we collaborated with the AG's office, Attorney General, and we gathered together. We announced that these illegal operators and the operations are going to be taken off the streets of the central east coast of Florida. We told them at that time that illegal operations, they better watch out because we are coming for you. And today, I could say, with our announcement of Operation Sunset Stakes, our message to these criminal enterprises is clear. Florida is not open for business for you. Our ongoing collaborative enforcement is key to turning the tide against illegal gambling. As we mentioned, the Florida Gambling Commission's law enforcement team is incredible, but I singularly want to highlight our Director of Law Enforcement, Mr. Carl Harold, whose relentless work building with relationships, federal, state, local partnerships. It really is the reason why this operation is even made possible. I would be remiss if I did not thank Governor DeSantis and the legislature for their strong support to the commission. Most recently, that support has translated into the establishment of a new Gaming Commission law enforcement division right here in Southwest Florida, where the crime is happening every day. We are so grateful for that support. We're going to have a team here that's going to be boots on the ground to protect the communities and because of their efforts. Very grateful for that. Of course, the Attorney General's support throughout day one has been tremendous. It cannot be underscored. Where would we be without his support? Our commission protects the integrity of legal gambling, and we also protect the citizens. Illegal operators, they're just not a public nuisance. They are criminals. It's been mentioned by these wonderful sheriffs about the additional legal infractions that are not misdemeanors. They are felonies, and they are happening in the backyards. They're criminals that we're going to continue to pursue. When someone walks into an illegal casino as was previously mentioned, they don't have any guarantee of fair play. They don't have consumer protections. They don't have any recourse when they're being cheated. And it was designed, these criminals designed the system for that very purpose. So to every operator that's running an illegal slot machine or machine in the state of Florida, in Southwest Florida, anywhere, please know we're expanding our resources. We've got these proven partners right behind us and throughout the state, and we are coming after you. If anyone does have concerns or information about a potential illegal gambling event that's going on in your county, in your hometown, please call the Gaming Commission or just go to our website, flgaming.gov. Your tip, believe it or not, is what brings these operations to successful fruition. Florida is not going to be a safe harbor for illegal gambling, and certainly not with these incredible partners behind us here today. I want to thank you all again, Attorney General, Collier County and Lee County Sheriffs, your offices and your team, which have been incredible in our partnership, and I'm looking forward to that. And please, thank you for your unwavering commitment to protecting the citizens of our great state. Thank you all for being here.
Carl, you want to say anything? All right. But he's behind the scenes, and I assure you guys, he's coming for you. So, part of why this continues to be a recurring problem is the penalty for running one of these illegal casinos is still a misdemeanor. So people can make millions and just get a slap on the wrist. This is not going to deter people from this type of activity. So we're going to keep playing whack-a-mole with every resource we have, but we'll be working hard to get our legislature to step up and heighten these penalties to felonies where people will do serious time. Unfortunately, this last session, it wasn't the most productive. They didn't get it done, but they're going to get it done, from my lips to God's ears, I hope, in the next session so that we can shut this down for once and for all. But I hope the prosecutors out there, the judges, hear our tone. We're taking this seriously. It might seem like, not the most dangerous of crimes, but in so many of these cases, we do see strong ties to very, very dangerous, large-scale criminal networks. So we'll keep pushing rule of law and keep making this a safer state to raise a family. Other states have actually been reaching out, seeing what the director and his team have done, wanting to mirror what we're doing here in Florida to ensure rule of law in their states. In Florida, we are honored to lead on many of these issues. The sheriff mentioned fentanyl, the vaping. There's so many new evils going after our young people. I think we have an obligation to leave this state, this country, better for them than we found it. So we have a duty to lead on these issues. A big one has been AI. We see countless examples of, disturbed young people turning to AI chatbots like ChatGPT for relationships, for companionship, and in the most horrific of cases, planning and talking through committing suicide. Unfortunately, ChatGPT has not been screaming no, sounding the alarm, preventing this from happening. They're not alerting the authorities. So technology is not a bad thing. We all use it to fight bad guys. It can be used effectively if used for the right ways. But here in Florida, we're going to continue to lead and leave no stone unturned when it comes to protecting our little ones. So thanks again, everybody, for being here. We've got a bunch of these machines. If you're somebody at home and you're like, how do I know if it's legal or not? I mean, the answer is almost always going to be no, unless you are at a licensed pari-mutuel facility or one of the Seminoles facilities or using the Hard Rock app. If you're being asked to go behind a curtain in a nail salon, too good to be true. If you think there's some sort of slot machine in the back of a 7-Eleven, too good to be true. Don't do it. Don't do it. There are other ways to lose your money, I promise you. All right, we got time for a few questions if there are any back there. Yes, ma'am.
A lot of businesses have to go through permitting processes, inspections, but we see these arcades pop up in our communities. I know you guys just announced this division right here in Southwest Florida that's going to be working to target these illegal operations. But can you kind of talk about any additional local or state oversight when it comes to these businesses like permitting or inspections?
Well, the question is about permitting, inspections, how do businesses know what's legal? Florida law is pretty clear. that you can't have slot machines absent having a license from the state, and those are limited based on constitutional protections over time. It's just not legal. If you've got a question about whether or not your game is legal, if you've got some sort of arcade game that doesn't have a banked aspect where people can bet and make more money, there might be something out there that's legal. The Gaming Commission is more than happy to give you a very quick response and analysis. Just reach out. But something tells me the people that have these games, they know what they're doing.
How does this operation work? You guys go and raid, one of these casinos, but then they open up a few days later under a different name.
Sure. The question's about, some of these illegal gambling operations opening up somewhere else under a different name. That certainly happens. And that's why we're going to be everywhere all the time. We're going to be very present. We're going to be prosecuting. While we've got the basic misdemeanor for the illegal operation of an illegal casino, we're going to be looking at other crimes. If there's a RICO coordinated effort, again, that's going to be a heavier penalty that's going to put people in the slammer for a long time. If there's some other money laundering or black market activity that gives us other hooks, we're going to go for it. So we're going to prosecute to the fullest on this. We're sending a message. If you want to open up, 3 doors down, we'll be there, we'll find you, and it's going to get harder as it goes forward. The question is about counties that lead the way in takedowns and why Southwest Florida today. Well, we're looking everywhere in the state. The director and his team have been doing raids from the Panhandle on down to South Florida. Just a few months ago, we had the largest single operation kind of based out of Brevard, Volusia County, and that's spanning, Central Florida area all the way up to Jacksonville. Here today is Southwest Florida. Again, no real reason other than we're going to be everywhere. I will say that the Seminole Tribe facilities being near here makes it all the more important to do it here because it's right in their backyard and is a real slap in the face to the lawful operations that are done in partnership, and sanctioned by the state. So I think it is important that we're here, but we're going to be everywhere. Get ready for the next one. As far as the county with the most, I know that operation in Brevard was the biggest, but I don't know. Southwest Florida Southwest Florida is the biggest hub, so that's probably why we're here.
You mentioned some of these arcades can lead to other crime. Is there examples of what other crime it may bring?
Sure. Well, look, we've seen a lot of money flowing in, especially when the open border was there at the southern border, money coming in, moving through these establishments, moving overseas, tied to prostitution, tied to human trafficking, tied to large-scale drug operations. These games can kind of be the face of a very evil network that's going on behind that screen. And it's going to vary on a case-by-case basis, but typically there's more than what meets the eye. Okay, thanks everybody. Appreciate it. Have a good one.